Is Best Part really just an ordinary love song, or is it a hidden message meant for only one person? Jungkook sings it with passion, but why does ARMY feel that this is a poignant satire? Not about Taehyung, but about him? And the most surprising thing, what Taehyung said afterwards actually shook fans' confidence in their relationship. Is this just a coincidence? Or is there really a hidden meaning behind that overly calm smile? When Jungkook sang Best Part with almost heart-rending tenderness, no one expected that the emotional outburst would actually come from an unexpected direction, Taehyung. The song is so beautiful, so touching, but also so ambiguous. And that's where it all started. A cloud of questions hangs between two friends who were once inseparable. Is this the beginning of a split, or just a misunderstanding too deep to heal? Too often we've seen Jungkook wrap his emotions in soft tones, but this time, with Best Part, something is different. His eyes are not as usual, not as cheerful as when singing Still With You, and not as optimistic as when performing My You. There was a faint nuance of parting. There is an unexplained tense. Too often we've seen Jungkook wrap his emotions in soft tones, but this time, with Best Part, something is different. His eyes are not as usual, not as cheerful as when singing Still With You, and not as optimistic as when performing My You. There was a faint nuance of parting. There is an unexplained tension. And even more hair stood on end as the entire ARMY dissolved into the beauty of Jungkook's voice. One shocking comment came from Taehyung that instantly sparked an emotional outburst on social media. Don't be so quick to believe in a song.
What does that statement mean?
Does Taehyung feel emotionally removed? Or does he know something that the public does not know? This question became an ember that burned the curiosity of millions of fans around the world. What does that statement mean? Does Taehyung feel emotionally removed? Or does he know something that the public does not know? This question became an ember that burned the curiosity of millions of fans around the world. It didn't take long before #BestPartDrama dominated the trending topic on Twitter and Weverse. Even thousands of speculations emerged from international and local fans who tried to unravel the hidden codes in every lyric and tone of the cover. For some, this is just an overinterpretation. But for ARMY, who's been following the dynamic of the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung for years, who are not just colleagues but like brothers, this is more than just a song. It's about wounds, about possible proximity is being tested. And most surprisingly, many began to associate this with Taehyung's change in attitude, which later appeared more closed and cold in interviews and posts on social media. Jungkook has always been known as a person who does not easily show his feelings. Jungkook has always been known as a person who does not easily show his feelings explicitly, especially when it comes to things that touch his personal realm. But the choice of the song, Best Part, cannot be taken for granted. This song is not just any song. The song won the Best Collaboration Award at the Seoul Train Music Awards, is known as the epitome of deep emotional connection, and is often used in sentimental moments. Why did Jungkook choose the song now? What does it mean for him? And more importantly, who is this song really for? Some ARMY researchers found an interesting fact. Jungkook sang the song at about the same time as the birthday of someone he had been very close to in the past, not Taehyung, but a former trainee he had once been associated with. Is this a coincidence? Or is Jungkook opening up an old wound that never really healed? And if that's the case, does Taehyung know? And that's what led him to make the comment that is now at the center of a storm of controversy. Not stopping there, HYB's attitude that suddenly deleted several promotional posts related to the cover on the official channel made the atmosphere even more mysterious. What's really going on behind the scenes? Why is there an impression that someone wants to restrain the spread of this cover when the public reaction was so positive at the beginning? Many fans speculated that there was internal pressure to temper the issue before it grew wilder, especially with BTS's history of being known to keep harmony between members very tight. But cracks, no matter how small, cannot continue to be hidden. Even in the behind-the-scenes footage during the final dance rehearsal, many fans noticed that Jungkook and Taehyung were seen keeping their distance.
Looks, nos jockeys as usual.
Just a formal smile. One of the most painful moments for some of the ARMY was when the camera captured Taehyung's facial expression as the song best part, played in the training session. His blank look, a forced smile, and the next second, he left the room without a word. Is it possible that this is just an exaggerated imagination of overly obsessed fans? Or is there really something bigger and deeper going on and we're just looking at the surface? Jungkook's calmness can be deceiving, because behind the silence, there is an explosion of meaning that is burning many relationships that were once considered unshakable. What's even more confusing is when Jean, who has always been a counterweight in the group dynamic, posts one sentence on Weverse that looks like code. We all have our own version of best part, and sometimes that's not what everyone thinks. That sentence sparked a wave of deep analysis from fans, as if it were an affirmation that the song does hold personal meaning for Jungkook, and perhaps not for Taehyung. Did this song an emotional farewell disguised as an art offering? Or is it actually a subtle form of protest from Jungkook to someone who has been beside him all this time but doesn't really understand him? Taehyung? HYB? Or himself? These questions continue to buzz in the heads of fans who are getting more and more confused every day, who decide with To Be Sure. The cover of Best Part, which was originally considered a love offering, has now turned into a symbol of an unexpected split. The song is not only about love, but also about loss, about things that can no longer be fixed, about a feeling that is never spoken directly, but feels so strong in every tone. And in the midst of this storm, one thing is certain. The army will not stand still. They continue to search for the truth, digging into every detail and trying to put together the pieces of the mystery that still hang in the air. Because for them, BTS is not just about music. It's about family. And if something cracks the family, then they want to know, at any price. But the question still lingers in everyone's mind. If not for Taehyung, then who did Jungkook refer to as the best part of his life? Because it's not just Jungkook's voice that's touching on this cover, but the way he conveys the lyrics, as if he's talking to someone, not to the camera, not to the fans, but to someone who knows exactly what each word he sings means. Is it possible that the person is no longer in his life now? Or more painfully, is the person actually still close physically, but distant at heart? This is where fans start digging, and what they find is more surprising than they ever imagined. Many have begun to associate the timing of the cover's release with a series of moments that show how strained Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship has been since the beginning of this year. Backstage footage of the virtual reunion shows something unusual. Taehyung, who is usually most expressive when interacting with Jungkook, is now sitting with his head down as the Magne performs solo. No chairs, no proud smiles. Only the